Recording?
Yep.
Okay, so I am Tom Pagano, and here we are on the top of a volcano next to Goma of the Democratic People's Republic of, oh fuck, that's not right. We'll edit that out. My name's Tom Pagano, and we're at the top of a volcano here in the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, formerly known as Zaire. And we're going to do a science experiment today about the Coriolis force. And because this is serious science, I got to put on my serious science glasses. Alright, so here's the idea, is that Coriolis force is a force that you see that determines how storms spin around in the atmosphere. In the northern hemisphere, they spin around in one direction. In the southern hemisphere, they spin around in a different direction. And when you come to Africa, one thing you commonly see is on the equator, they do an experiment where they have two different toilets. One on one side of the equator and one on the other side of the equator. And these bowls spin in different directions because of the Coriolis force, supposedly. But it's actually an urban myth. And so we have climbed 5 hours here to this wonderful volcano to do an experiment to see if it's really true or not, if water spins in different directions. Collect my thoughts here. So parts of the experiment here, we have a basin bowl that our AK-47 wielding park ranger has brought up, and a second bowl that this will drain into. And this bowl has a certain little hole in the middle that the water will drain out of, which is sort of like a sink. And then we have water here. Now what we'll do is we'll pour into the basin, and we'll use a stopper here, which will be a Pringles can lid, and that'll keep the water from going down. Now there's a couple things that actually influence how the water is going to spin. It's just different irregularities in the bottom of the basin, how it's shaped, and how settled the water is. The temperature of the water, different currents in there. Now here we filled up the water to a fair amount. Got a dropper in there. We need a tracer, which is going to be our wrapper here. Maybe a little closer, zoom in on this. So we'll release the water and it'll start spinning in a whirlpool. So that looks like that is spinning in no real direction at all. Okay, alright. This is rough science. So the key is that we need more water.
Or soup water.
Let's hope that the water bottle is not bigger than the bottle below. Now people actually have done experiments where they show that it really does spin in different directions, but these are very controlled experiments in a laboratory using a very big basin with a very small hole, and they let the water sit for practically a week to keep from there being any kind of currents. Now you see here the tracers, which is a Snicker bar, are already moving. They're moving in a counterclockwise direction. So if we take out the stopper now, that's pretty much how it'll drain. But if we were to stir it up and maybe get it going in the other direction, then it will spin the other way. So a common tactic that these people on the border do is that they'll bring a bowl and they'll turn it as they put it down, just to give it a little bit of a momentum on one side of the border, and then they turn as they're putting the bowl down on the other side of the border to give it momentum in the other direction. Alright, so this looks pretty still. Let's start draining. Now this looks like it's going clockwise, pretty assuredly. There you go. Now the thing about these experiments, oh, wow, look at that. Sorry, distracted by the lava. is that some people could claim that basically I'm doing this experiment wrong. And if we repeat this on the north side of the equator and we get a different result, that doesn't disprove the theory that you can get Coriolis force in a basin. It just means that I'm doing it wrong. And this is the very tricky thing about science, is that you have to do controlled experiments and oops, shit, we're losing water here on the bottom. Okay, all right, plan B.
Oh,
Let's put it back in here. Is that raining? Okay, all right. That's a bad idea.
wow. We're not going to have food tonight.
Oh, there we go. Well, we have a whole pot, so... Okay, science experiment over. Stop rolling. Yeah.